Thank you. Next is Debby Goldsberry, the director of the Cannabis Action Network. I invite you to go to her booth down there. And also the director of the Berkeley Patients Group in Berkeley, California.
Hey, thanks you guys. Hey, I want to just say thanks really quick to the people signing on the stages. That's super cool. Thank you very much. Can we have a round of applause? And everyone can learn at least the alphabet and be able to communicate with people who are hearing impaired, so take advantage of that. Also, you can get it right on the internet. Anyway, super happy to be at Hempfest. One thing I noticed is that, wow, this is the biggest Hempfest I think I've been at. And I don't know if everyone else feels that way, but yesterday was an enormous crowd, more and more people coming out all the time. It's really building, I think, Seattle's initiative that deprioritized cannabis has moved the movement forward here and all across this portion of the Washington and the whole portion of the nation. It's been amazing. So we can see the growth through Hempfest. And one thing I noticed is I can say that, but I can't tell you how many Hempfests I've been to, which is common among Hempfest attendees. Do you guys know? Anybody know? Anybody on the panel know how many Hempfests they have been to? Anybody out there? No, I don't know. I don't know why. Anyway, getting to the point.
Don't blame pot.
It's not the pot. Let's see. This is what I really like about pot, and I think that the big achievement that pot's given us all, and something that it's been just something great to be a part of, is strength through adversity. And I think the challenge of the drug war has made us all so strong, and made us strong enough to tackle the United States government. To look that big ugly beast that's sort of destroying the planet and trying to take freedoms away from everyone, as far as I can tell, that pot's made us strong enough to face them. And the adversity has made us a movement that has become unbeatable. And so I think that's a little bit about what I want to talk about, is that strength through adversity. At Berkeley Patients Group, we have a medical cannabis dispensary. We've been there for 9 years. If you can believe it, I can't even, every day. It's just been a challenge, but here we are 9 years later, and things are, pot is actually becoming legal in California for the first time. We can see that we're on the cusp of the actual change where the government backs off or they lay off. They don't even have to legalize it, they just have to go away. You know, we're happy with that. It's our firm belief that that pot and its special place in the universe, that the cannabis users, we get to make our own laws, that we get to enforce our own laws, that we get to implement our laws, and that's what we're doing. It's I don't know, it's just an amazing thing. So I'm just like, my pot pride is the strength that adversity has given us to stand up and to fight the government and to actually win. So I guess I want to just give you guys some examples of what we've been able to do in Berkeley. It's been fun. In 1979, the citizens decided they wanted to make pot legal in Berkeley, so they made this amazing law. They said pot should be legal because the citizens are spending millions of dollars on pot, and if they grow their own cannabis in their closets and at their homes, we're going to have millions of dollars for the Berkeley economy. So let's deprioritize it. It was the first deprioritizing, pot law, like the one they did in Seattle here almost 20, 30 years later, or something like that. They said if someone steals your pot, call the police because it's a crime, in Berkeley. So when we got to Berkeley, we knew the citizens had done step one. They'd made the law. They never had implemented the law, though. It's on the books. We don't wait around for the government to implement those cool pot laws once you get them on the books, because they're not gonna. So we decided, let's implement the law. Pot's legal, but what does it mean if it's not actually legal? They're still arresting people, and the mission of the cannabis users to get pot into our hands, somebody's got to take charge. So we formed a group called the Be Cool, the Berkeley Cannabis Ordinance Oversight League, with the mission to implement the law that the citizens had put into effect. Because, by the way, there is a system in the checks and balances of government that if the government runs amok, if the government stops listening to the voters, if the voters vote and the government still doesn't comply, that the citizens themselves have to take over the system of checks and balances. And throughout civics, at every point where a law or an implementation goes into place, there's a citizens part to that law. It's ultimately the citizens' responsibility to keep the government in check. So let me tell you, the cannabis movement has been an excellent opportunity at every level to implement the system of citizens' checks and balances, because the government is not implementing our laws, and they are not following the laws that the citizens make. They are not following the laws that are on the books, and we have to implement them. And I guess that's what's been fun. So we implemented the Berkeley cannabis law. And we opened a Dutch-style coffee shop, and we're not insane, you know, it was a direct action. And we only did it once a week, and we required people to register and to join on to the sensible cannabis use guidelines to say that we'd be responsible neighbors, and we understood that we had to play it cool, be cool. And with that, the citizens had made the law, and it was the job of our government to follow that law, and the job of the citizens to implement the law. And we were successful for 9 months. We got up to 2,500 members, and it was just this really awesome thing that happened until we got busted. And that was great, you know, because we've been planning for 9 months to get busted. That's plenty of time. So when we got busted, we said, oh, well, they're breaking the law. They're busting us. They can't do that. So we fought the case, and we won that case. We got it thrown out. I was up on felony charges, whatever. We got it thrown out. And then we said, well, okay, they broke the law. We have to sue the cops because they broke the law. So we sued the cops. And the city council decided to settle out of court. They went, had their meeting, you know, the city council meeting, and said, that's not very Berkeley, that the Berkeley cops busted the be cool, you know, they're following the law, that's not cool. So they awarded us a settlement, and we won. So there you go, you make the law, you implement the law, you enforce the law, and you get the job done. And you know, I could talk about a lot of other things, but I'll just tell you another thing. I kind of mentioned it in my speech here last year, but Ed Rosenthal, do you guys know him, guru of ganja? Yeah, got busted by the feds. Well, the feds tried to scoop up all of Ed's friends to testify against him, and found 15 of us, me, you know, a bunch of my friends, and said, like, we've got you, you know, you're our witnesses. Come testify against Ed, your buddy. And we're like, you are out of your mind. You guys are breaking the law. The citizens voted on this. It would be illegal and immoral for us to participate in your prosecution, and we won't do that, and actually you can't make us. It's our job as citizens. When the government runs amok, when the government doesn't follow the law, the citizens get to. So well, we're in San Francisco. We got the best, brilliant cannabis lawyers on our side, you know, each of us 15 top lawyers, put our heads together, and they actually had to start a separate trial for the recalcitrant witnesses. I don't know what's happening in the sound system, but they started a trial for us. They found us all guilty of civil contempt for refusing to testify against Ed. And one by one, we had to get up on the witness stand and look at the judge. And maybe I trade mics. Hello, hello, yeah. Anyway, I'll tell you, it was a great sense of justice one by one to watch us get up on the witness stand and to look the DEA, to look the prosecutor and the judge in the eye and say one by one, I won't testify, that you're wrong, that we've voted, that what you're doing is wrong, that we're not going to testify, and not only that, but we're going to do this in an effort to teach other people that there's a system of checks and balances in place, that when the government runs amok, that the citizens take charge. And I'll tell you what, we were so successful that after we all gave our speeches one by one, and the courtroom's lined with marshals, and we're going, are we going to jail? We're all guilty. Because civil contempt, you go right to jail, right? Judge asked the prosecutor, well, what do you want me to do? You know? And the prosecutor says, let's just ask him this question. If testifying against Ed, if we send him to jail, will they testify against Ed? Because if they will, let's send him to jail. But if they won't, I guess we should send him home. And the judge was like, what? Okay, I'll ask him that question, and he did. If we send you to jail, will you testify against Ed? And if not, I guess I can send you home. So anybody want to testify against Ed, just say yes, and we'll send you to jail. And if not, I guess you're dismissed. And they turned us free from that place. And so again, and we went home, and thank you, Judge Breyer, and thank you all the brave people that were part of that 15 that did that to show the government can't run amok. And not only that, that the citizens are in charge, and that if we follow the Constitution, if we implement the system of checks and balance, and thank you, POT, for making us so strong, and thank you, government, for fighting against us and giving us strength in adversity, and thank you for putting us in an unbeatable situation, which will continue at every step to put the citizens' will in place, and I urge all of you guys to really get involved.